To Hardball, as negotiations with Iran come down to the wire, another diplomatic impasse with that country goes unresolved. The case of Amir Hekmati, an American-born, former U.S. Marine who served honorably, has been held prisoner in Iran for 3.5 years now. Hekmati is a veteran of the Iraq War who was honorably discharged, as I said, in 2005. He was issued an Iranian passport in 2011 to visit his dying grandmother over there. But once he got there, he was accused of spying for the U.S. Hekmati was sentenced to death at first. Then months later, he was secretly retried and given 10 years at Evin prison over there, the same prison where many Americans were held during the Iran hostage crisis 36 years ago. Anyway, the U.S. State Department has called Iran's charges of espionage false, but little else is known about the government's effort to secure this guy's freedom. His name's Hekmati. Now, as the administration tries to close the deal with Iran over its nuclear program, some in this country want Hekmati's case to be part of the negotiations. Here's what former governor of New Mexico, Bill Richardson, had to say on that just yesterday.
I'd like to see them behave a lot better in the region. They have an American Marine in prison, an American journalist. You know, Iran has to develop an international posture that is obviously more responsible the way they've been acting. Maybe that can be brought in besides the nuclear agreement.
I'm joined right now by former U.S. Marine and talk show host Montel Williams, who's been advocating for Hekmati's release. Montel, I can't say anything except I have great honor for what you've said. Just tell the story I heard you tell this morning about this fellow who served his country and is now over there.
Chris, what's insane about this is it's been 3.5 years, and we're just now talking about it as a nation. I mean, I found out about this story about 8 months ago, but if you remember, we were involved in another Marine who was being held overseas. So I spoke to Governor Richardson this morning. This young man has been in prison now for 3.5 years. He's been tortured. He's been whipped with cords and cables on his feet. He's been starved. He's been put in 3x3 cells. They even took it this far, Chris. They've addicted him to lithium. He didn't bring drugs into the prison by himself. They've addicted him to lithium so that they can stretch it out for a little bit, and then they take him off it so he has to go through all the writhing pain of withdrawal. He's lost about 35 pounds. If it wasn't for Cristiano Monpour, he would have not had an opportunity to go and talk to his family. Now, I got to say this. Listen to me. This is a Marine. He's an American citizen. 3.5 years in prison. And the president about 6 months ago said unequivocally, we leave no soldiers behind. Marine Corps, Army, Air Force, Coast Guardsmen. We leave no one behind. So therefore, why are we leaving this young man behind? And right now, what happened is they originally sentenced him to death. They withdrew that. And then they tried him in absentia. He was in prison. They didn't even let him or his lawyers go to court. Then they found him guilty of conspiring with a foreign country and then sentenced him to 10 years. Now, what's going on here is which is crazy. He is an American citizen. Today, he had to renounce his Iranian, lineage just so that the Iranian government could stop using this over his head to claim that they have some sort of, control over him. The bottom line is he served honorably. The honorable thing for us to do as a nation is to get this man home. And if you notice, I'm not going to stop until we do.
No, I'm with you on this. As you said, he has had to renounce his Iranian citizenship in an attempt to be deported from that country. That's what he's trying to get done here. He spoke about it, however, in a letter he dictated over the phone from prison last month. Let's listen to Hekmati in his own words. Here he is.
I was falsely imprisoned as part of a propaganda campaign by the Ministry of Intelligence, and for nearly 3.5 years have endured inhumane treatment and witnessed the devastation. My Iranian heritage and affinity for the Iranian people will always be a part of me, but I wish to have no ties to an organization that places so little value on my human rights and dignity.
How did he get to say that? It seemed these people that hold our people prisoners never let somebody talk. Montel, how did he even get that message out?
We're trying to figure this out. I think he was able to surreptitiously get it recorded. No, but through a phone call. He called in. He was allowed to call his mother, and they recorded that on the phone, not knowing that he was doing that. I'm glad that he was able to get that out. I want to make sure that I don't go away without saying, everybody who's watching, Chris, please, if they just hashtag free Amir now. Hashtag free Amir now. We're going to try to make sure yes, AMIR, please. I want to get the White House. I want everybody to understand that right now, again, we keep claiming to leave no man behind. We're leaving one behind. And this is someone who served for us. The reason why they're holding him is because he fought in Iraq. And they know that. So is this, you just had Dick Cheney on. Dick Cheney's talking about going to war. Really? Well, how many soldiers are you going to put in the United States military when they realize that when they come home, we won't go and get you back? We don't have your back. You see what's going on with the VA right now? I mean, how disgusting is this that we could talk about going to war and fighting a war, and we can't even protect those who have done that for us? And then we turn our backs and act like, you know, now I'm going to say this. The State Department has been doing things on the slide behind the scenes. I spoke to Governor Richardson today. He is working behind the scenes. But so far, no one's been able to crack this nut. If they're going to end these talks tomorrow, those talks should not end without Americans coming home.
I hope this message gets to the White House and the State Department. Montel Williams, what a great call.